身后的这么多车全部停运了。
There's so many trucks behind me, all out of service, no longer running. As a logistics business owner, I can't even afford to keep drivers anymore. I can't pay for the freight. I can't afford the fuel. Dozens of trucks, not a single one on the road. They've been sitting here for months. So who's responsible for this situation? Some say it's the overall environment. Others blame the high fuel prices. Some point at the freight platforms. But who exactly is to blame? What can we do now? A heartbreaking scene was captured by a passerby late at night, showing a truck driver sleeping on the ground under a bridge, trying to save money.
Half the month is already gone, and it's the 15th today. My truck still hasn't earned enough to cover this month's payment. It's tough. At this rate, I'm going to have to sell my truck. I can't keep going. Right now, I'm waiting to unload. There are a few trucks ahead of me, some 4-meter trucks, and 2 big rigs behind me, including my 3 big rigs. I'm number 9 in line. I didn't realize unloading would be such a huge hassle. Waiting in line until number 9. You really have to be careful when you buy a truck, especially with big rigs. If you're not mentally strong, don't buy this kind of truck. It's a real gamble. You never know what the fuel price will be next, and you can't predict how low the freight rates will go.
各位同行
Fellow drivers, the freight market is worse than ever this year. I've been driving for over 10 days, making maybe 2,000 or 3,000 yuan in total. Just 1 or 2 loads a day. What about y'all? Are you getting any jobs? I feel like I'm almost done for. Every day, I drive out in the morning, and I can't even get started until the afternoon. Then, maybe I get 1 or 2 loads, and that's it. By 2 or 3 o'clock, there's nothing left. By 6 or 7 in the evening, still no work. It's the same every day. Amid China's economic downturn, the freight industry faces a severe crisis. As manufacturing companies relocate to Southeast Asia and small businesses close, freight volumes have dropped sharply, threatening truck drivers' livelihoods. Many drivers go weeks without suitable work, waiting at highway rest areas or city outskirts. Living on minimal means, they rely on picked vegetables, steamed buns, with some unable to find work for half a month, caught in a cycle of idle trucks and no income. A Douyin user shared the harsh reality for truck drivers. Freight work is no longer viable. I've waited a week without any jobs. From what I've seen, it's the same everywhere. No money to be made in transportation.
在成都不知不觉待了1周了。
I've been in Chengdu for a week without even realizing it. After lunch today, I'm planning to go out and take a look. I see a lot of trucks on the road, all just waiting for cargo. There's no work. Even if you do get something, the rates are so low, you barely make anything. It's tough to even make enough to cover the expenses. Trucks are parked everywhere, and drivers are about to break down. Even if trucks are parked in a lot, they can't even bring themselves to check into a hotel. My truck's parked outside, and look, this lot is full. If I wait any longer, there won't be any space left. The waiting phenomenon, as revealed by the user, is not an isolated case. Across the country, the freight market is in a deep slump, with low freight rates and intense competition. Drivers' incomes are no longer enough to cover their costs, and the industry has entered a phase where there is simply no profit. Recently, a video surfaced showing a truck driver slapping himself in the face while driving, trying to stay awake. Exhausted from long hours on the road, he resorted to slapping himself to maintain his focus. The video gained widespread attention, with many viewers commenting that this is a common experience for truck drivers. The truck driving community is one of the most oppressed groups in China. The freight industry often requires drivers to venture into remote areas, sometimes without food or water for days at a time. This group, which keeps the logistics system running smoothly, is often called the nomads of the highway. In addition to challenges within the industry, drivers also face bureaucratic hurdles imposed by various government agencies. Despite driving legal vehicles with valid licenses, truck drivers are often treated like criminals when on the road. Their legal space is increasingly constrained by local roadblocks and corrupt practices, forcing them to live like thieves just to make a living. A recent video highlighted the plight of truck drivers, showing one who was fined for unknowingly violating a restricted area, which led the driver to break down in frustration. You need a peak hour pass. That's number 1. Second, today's Tuesday, and Zhenzhou has restricted access to vehicles with license plate numbers ending in a 2 and 7. For both violations, I'll fine you 100 yuan and deduct 3 points. Please, don't take the points. Fine me whatever you want. I don't care. Please, I beg you, just don't take the points. I'll pay the fine. I don't want to argue. Don't make a scene. Are you trying to drive me to death? Are you trying to push me to the edge? The video sparked sympathy from over 370,000 viewers, with many expressing their support for the driver. One user wrote, It's so sad to watch. The policies for freight vehicles are too harsh, another said. It's so hard for truck drivers, working so little just to support their families. From the looks of this officer, he seems to be doing quite well. Some viewers speculated about what would happen if truck drivers nationwide decided to stop working for a day. The sad reality is that truck drivers have become one of the most marginalized groups in society, and the harsh truth is shocking.
Truck drivers take out loans, invest hundreds of thousands, but end up at the bottom of society, bullied by insurance agents and cargo workers. That's the norm. They're constantly exploited. At the end of every month, when they calculate their earnings, after the truck loan and the expenses for their family, if they're lucky, they can save a little for themselves. But if they deal with stolen fuel, stolen goods, or fines, they can't even pay their credit card bills. Is this how truck drivers should be treated? They sleep only a few hours a night, spend the whole year without making enough, and end up with health problems. Luckily, they still have family support, but driving a truck is incredibly tough. Sometimes all they can do is give in, endure, and silently suffer. They're left with nothing but frustration and tears. We need to treat truck drivers better. I may be young, but I want to make a change. I hope more people will start paying attention, understanding, and respecting truck drivers.
突然间好想放弃。
Sometimes I just want to give up. Driving trucks feels impossible. On the road, you have to know which routes are cheapest, which gas stations have affordable fuel, and which ones have the best fuel quality. You also have to be extra careful about your safety, and you're always worried about dealing with the police. Once you get to your final destination, you have to gently coax the receiver to unload quickly. If you raise your voice, they might make things harder, questioning the freight rate and delaying payment. Once the cargo is unloaded and you've settled the freight charges, you start facing a new problem. Where's the next job? You have to make countless calls to book a load. Day after day, year after year, the cycle repeats. If you're even a little slower, you might miss a chance for a load. At 2 a.m. in a service area along the Jinghu Expressway, truck driver Mr. Zhao, shivering in the cold, wrapped his coat tightly around himself. Squatting next to his truck's wheel, he lit a cigarette. The engine was still warm, but his face, hidden in the smoke, looked tired. After a long day on the road, hauling goods from Hebei to Shandong, a round trip of several hundred kilometers, Mr. Zhao found that his net profit was less than 100 yuan. He gave a bitter smile and thought to himself, after all this effort, I'd be better off opening a barbecue stall back home. Some drivers have expressed their frustration. 10 years ago, hauling a ton of steel earned me 50 to 60 yuan, but now, people are competing for the job for just 20 to 30 yuan. After all that hard work, my tires are worn down, my back hurts, and I'm still losing money. Long-distance drivers often push themselves to the limit, their eyes bloodshot from exhaustion. Yet, when they check the numbers, the cold reality sets in. Their hard work is in vain. Freight rates don't reflect the driver's actual income. There are other costs involved. Vehicle maintenance, fuel, fines, that drivers must account for. They feel like the more they drive, the more they lose, with rising costs and shrinking take-home pay. Truck driver Xiao Zi shared a video breaking down his earnings.
Good
morning, everyone. It's a little past 7 a.m., and I'm here at a delivery point in Kunming. Let me break down how much I earned on this trip. I drove over 2,100 kilometers. Total fuel consumption was 806 liters. At 6 yuan per liter, that's about 4,800 yuan just for fuel. Then I had 6,000 yuan in tolls, 200 yuan for urea, and 300 yuan in service fees. The total freight was 13,400 yuan, but after all that, I only earned 1,750 yuan. Yes, you heard that right. And when I unloaded, I was short one bag of cargo, losing 250 yuan. I drove 2,100 kilometers and only made 1,750 yuan. From Henan to Kunming, over 2,000 kilometers, 4 days of work, hauling 30 tons of goods. After accounting for truck wear and tear and depreciation, I'm actually losing money. It's a tough reality. This is what the freight industry is really like. Official data indicates China has about 38 million truck drivers. On July 11, 2025, the China Federation of Logistics and Purchasing released a report based on 5,936 truck driver surveys, showing 70% earn less than 5,000 yuan monthly. This is linked to a surge in drivers, declining freight rates, and rising operating costs. The survey revealed that truck drivers generally saw lower incomes in 2024 compared to 2023. About 80% of self-employed drivers reported reduced earnings, while roughly half of the employed drivers experienced the same. In Anhui Province, Daying Village is known as a truck driver village. Most drivers are self-employed. transporting steel between Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Guangdong. Of the village's 3,200 residents, over 1,600 work outside, with nearly half in freight logistics. Shen Weijia, a 55-year-old truck driver, drives enough annually to circle the Earth's equator 3 times. He spends less than a month at home each year, returning to Daying village only for Chinese New Year. Previously, the freight industry made Daying one of the region's wealthiest villages. However, in recent years, drivers have faced declining freight rates and intensifying competition. In 2017, Daying villager Shen Biao earned about 400 yuan per ton transporting steel from Shanghai to Guangdong. By 2025, this rate fell to 200 yuan, a nearly 50% drop. Due to fierce competition and reduced freight, his monthly trips between Shanghai and Guangdong decreased from 5 or 6 to about 3. Shen Biao noted a common saying among freight owners: "If you don't take this price, plenty of other drivers will." To support their families, some drivers take more orders and drive longer routes. Truck couples, spouses driving together, have become more common as 2 people can work longer hours. Shen Weijia and his wife drive together, avoiding restaurants and hotels to cut costs. They clean themselves with water at service areas. Shen said, "While driving, I need my wife to stay alert to keep me from getting drowsy or distracted." Shen Weijia's experience reflects the reality faced by China's 38 million truck drivers. Chen Yong, a 53-year-old driver, cuts costs by spending 3 summer nights in his truck, avoiding hotels. He recently told the United Morning Post, "I used to check into a hotel and eat at restaurants upon arrival. Now I sleep in the truck, can't shower, and cook my meals inside." Chen Yong drives a regular Hubei to Guangxi route, but his monthly round trips dropped from 4 to 5 to 3 this year. On trips from Guangxi to Hubei, Chen Yong calculates expenses carefully to break even. His costs are 200 yuan per ton, but platforms offer as low as 160 yuan per ton, raising to 170 or 180 yuan if no one accepts, pushing drivers to take low-paying jobs. Previously, Chen Yong found work within a day, but this year he waited up to 3 days, often taking jobs at a loss. He now calculates fuel, tolls, and other costs for the 1,200-kilometer return trip, planning routes on national highways to save money. Chen Yong said, "I used to find work easily at the logistics park board and drive highways, always earning something. Now I might even lose money." China's economic downturn and rising unemployment have pushed many to buy trucks and enter the freight industry, intensifying competition. Reduced freight volumes stem from a weak economy, but zero down payment truck loans worsen the situation. Salespeople claim no down payment, a few trips will cover it, convincing many farmers and workers to buy trucks. Many think, no upfront cost to drive and earn? Why not? They sign contracts, taking on monthly loan payments of 3,000 to 4,000 yuan. However, falling freight rates and rising fuel and toll costs quickly erode slim profit margins. To repay loans, drivers take any orders, even at a loss, running despite no work. These zero down payment loans shift market risks to individuals, pulling families into debt. This policy has caused a surge in new drivers nationwide, worsening the situation. China has over 10 million large trucks, with more than 70% privately owned through loans. Drivers rely on freight platforms for orders. Each province has its own platform, but the largest, Manbang, is expanding nationally. This has sparked intense competition, with large companies cutting rates to dominate the market. Freight platforms take a 30% commission on loads. As competition grows, rates fall, yet drivers still accept low-paying jobs to survive and repay loans, as platforms control the orders, leaving them little choice. Rising unemployment fuels transport capacity, zero down payment loans increase risks, and platform monopolies intensify exploitation, creating a vicious cycle. Truck driving is now a high-risk occupation with poor working conditions. Drivers face long hours, fatigue, low rates, and strict demands, harming their health and quality of life. Recent data show 78% of drivers suffer health issues like stomach problems, cervical spine disorders, and high blood pressure due to prolonged driving and irregular lifestyles. Given their long hours and risks, drivers are essentially trading their lives for money, often without profit. Some collapse from exhaustion, others sell trucks and return home due to debt, while some persist, hoping to provide for their families. Truck drivers support China's goods distribution, but are silently marginalized. Their struggles reflect not only individual hardships, but also the survival anxieties of the ordinary workers amid China's economic downturn.